The first paragraph, before the end of the first trimester, the state may not regulate a pregnant woman's abortion decision and its effectuation, which must be left to the judgment of the pregnant woman. And so right there, just in looking at this first trimester, there you can see where it says the state may not regulate a pregnant woman's abortion decision and its effectuation. So that's what we're talking about when we say all of these common sense regulations are out the window.
Yeah.
Just completely gone. And as we know, most abortions take place in the first trimester.
Yeah.
And so any common sense abortion regulation is gone under this.
Well, and I'm, granted, I suppose this is a point that lawyers will argue about further down the line. I'm not an attorney, but I have practiced public policy for better part of 30 years. And when I look at the phraseology, the state may not regulate a pregnant woman's abortion decision and its effectuation, that's so broad that, in other words, there's no exceptions. There's no asterisk there. There's no footnote that says,
Right.
Except in the following circumstances. It's saying no regulation whatsoever. So when I look at this, I don't even think a statute that says that abortion would have to be performed by a licensed physician would be upheld as constitutional, because if you say, only a doctor can perform an abortion, by my reading, that's regulating the effectuation of someone's decision, and the Constitution has just said you can't do that. So, I mean, this is
right.
the whole. I think about the old slogan of the pro-choice movement used to be. Abortion is a matter between a woman and her doctor. Well, apparently not anymore.
Right.
Maybe we don't need medical professionals involved at all. But anyway, let me have you continue with the rest of it.
Well, further evidence of that, of exactly what you're saying, is that the second paragraph here is, after the end of the first trimester and until the end of the second trimester, the state may regulate the pregnant woman's abortion decision and its effectuation only in ways that are reasonably related to the physical health of the pregnant woman. And so when you think about regulations making sure that a doctor is performing the abortion, well, that to me relates to the physical health of the mother, the protection of the mother. These are risky procedures that it shouldn't just be left at home or without some doctor. And so I think you're right. I mean, they provide for that exception in this second paragraph. That means in the first paragraph, there cannot be that regulation, even to provide for the presence of a doctor when performing an abortion. And, you can only speculate as to why.
Right.
Maybe it has to do with the fact that they just want telemedicine, internet abortions to occur outside of any doctor-patient relationship. Who knows?
Right.
But it truly is radical.
There's more, folks. There's also a provision about what's allowed in the third trimester of pregnancy. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so the third paragraph, which is the regulation, or the portion of the amendment that would regulate the third trimester, says that at the end of the second trimester, the state may regulate or prohibit abortion, except when abortion is necessary in the medical judgment of the woman's physician to preserve the life or health of the pregnant woman. And so, having been around legislation and legislative language and constitutional language for a long time, the big problem with that is that there's no definition. And that's intentional.
Yeah.
And it's intentional on their part. So when you think about the health of a pregnant woman, the health of a pregnant mother, without definition, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Does it mean anxiety? Does it mean depression? It certainly could.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, your wife's been pregnant. My wife's been pregnant.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of anxiety. And this is not to minimize this. Anxiety and depression
are real.
That's a real thing.
Right. Right.
And I don't think we should minimize those things.
Right.
And so without proper definition, I think it just blows the door wide open.
Yeah.
And I think that they're doing that very intentionally.
Yeah.
To allow for abortion all the way to the point of birth, which is exactly what this would do.